All right, good morning, everybody. This is Neighborhood Nerds Tech Talk. We're talking about passwords today. And if you haven't been here before, we're going to be covering some great information about passwords. We're streaming it live on the internet, and we have a live studio audience with plenty of smiling faces and people going to ask us a few questions. Talk about what we're going to be covering today and how this is going to work. We have, oh, come on, girl. Is that what I did wrong again? As I hit it too fast?
Yeah.
Come back. Come back. I want to get back to this previous slide.
Yeah, just keep it back.
Come on. It's a little slower than I thought it was going to be. So, build remaining 1. Now I'll wait for it, right? So here's the schedule for how the class will run today. We're going to do, right now we're doing our introduction, and we're going to talk about why we have the classes and why Neighborhood Nerds is here, and some of the facts about passwords. And then at 10:30 we'll have a little break if anybody needs coffee or a restroom break or whatever. And then we'll talk about how we use some of the tools that we have at your disposal, and then how to get in touch with Neighborhood Nerds. Does anybody have any questions right now? Okay. And we will get smoother as I will get smoother as I go. All right, first, the why, a little bit about Neighborhood Nerds and who we are. Neighborhood Nerds started a couple years ago. I had the idea of, actually I was going to church over here at Sequoia Hills and had several friends and family members that found out that I knew a little bit about computers. So they started inviting me over to their home and saying, hey, could you help me with my laptop, my network, whatever? And they would give me a bottle line or a gift card, and I was like, well, why don't you use like FireDog or Geek Squad or something like that? And everybody said, well, you know, one, it's a lot of sensitive information that you're opening your home to. So I don't want someone that I don't trust. You know, I never know who's coming from one of those companies. It's very expensive, and they usually break more than they fix. And then they always have this like wide sweeping solution to things of, I'm just going to format your hard drive and start over, or we're going to reset your phone and start over. And I would really like someone that just had a relationship with me and that I could trust, and they would give me good advice. So I said, well, what if I started a little company and we had really good people that were really smart, and we were able to build that relationship with you, understand all of your technology that you're using in your house and your business, and we could predict problems that you were going to have. We would always be available to you, but we'd have to charge a small monthly fee. And I had a bunch of friends and family saying that would be a great idea, you know, why don't you do it? So I used another nonprofit that I'd started back in 2008 called Entrepreneurs of Knoxville. And something we do there is we crowdsource ideas for new businesses or new marketing approaches, whatever. So I went to Entrepreneurs of Knoxville meeting. We had about 50 people in the audience, and I'm running through a slideshow talking about this brand new idea of doing a membership-based technology company. And everybody loved the idea, thought, man, this would be great, except for a few of the IT people that were in the audience. They said that'll never work because break fix is the only thing that works. You'll never make any money. The people that you have as members will abuse the system. You know, travel time will kill you. All of these reasons why it wouldn't work. Which, as an entrepreneur, that's fine because those are just obstacles that you need to provide solutions for. So I liked knowing that information, and we have built a company around this ability to have a membership model, support people, have relationships with our members, and have avoided any of those pitfalls that the IT brothers and sisters of mine brought up. And one way we do that is we have really good people. We have a great team. It's me, Leah, and Mark Armstrong. Mark Armstrong's a partner of mine. He owns 20% of the company. And we have Tommy Wynn, which you guys probably know Tommy very well. He fixes things all the time, and he knows everybody's name and hugs people when appropriate. And Tommy owns now part of the company also. We're he's earning ownership in the company as he goes along because he's been just incredibly important to our success. We have Rich right over here, which everybody knows Rich. Rich came to us from the Apple Store, which is a great place. I'll cover this up so the Apple can't hear, but a great place to find smart nerds. We go into Apple and kind of look around, and you need that special nerd though that has empathy for everybody. You know, they're really, their heart breaks when you're having problems with your technology. They really feel for you. They don't talk down to you, and the ones that don't think that your problems are not significant. You know, they all take them and carry them on their shoulders. Like, this is just as important to me as it is to you. They're the ones that are always smiling are the ones that we're looking for. The ones that are always happy. They're always, you know, the glass is half full. And that's the kind of people that we like to find. Linda is our receptionist, office manager nerd. So when you call in, you're probably going to be talking to Linda the most. And then we also have Ethan's kind of a part-time nerd. He's a graphic designer that sits in a chair around here every now and then. You'll notice him. Again, he's the same kind of person, very happy all the time, very bubbly and personable and loves everybody. And he's very good at the graphic design side of things. Gizmo, our little platypus here, came to us one night. We were sitting around the table talking about marketing and branding, and we'd had a bottle of bourbon sitting on the table, so we'd been drinking a little bit of bourbon. And someone said, I think it was Austin Church was talking about, well, tell me more about all these stuff that you guys do, because you do so much. You're not just computer support guys. You're not just Windows. You're not just servers. You're not just networking. You're not just security. You're not just mobile devices. You're like a little bit of everything, and you do audio and home automation. And you're always just in the mix with, not like any other animal that's out there. And Mark kind of probably had like 2 or 3 bourbons at that point and said, you know, we're like a platypus. We're not like anything out there. We're a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we're like this really cool creature in the mix. So that's where Gizmo was born. We thought, hey, a platypus, that'd be great. And Mark's brother-in-law actually came to us looking like that. We tweaked him a little bit, and now we have him in all kinds of poses for our different marketing campaigns. We have him as a construction worker, as a doctor, as a swimmer with goggles on and a swimsuit that he wears, as a golfer. I mean, just a little bit of everything. We also have him in football poses, like he's reaching out to catch a football. As a receiver, we have him as a catcher. Game, and maybe have a board with a hole in it with, you know, where his hands are like this catching a football, and give like 3 bean bags, and you throw the bean bags, and if you get one in, you get a prize. We give you a flash drive or a mouse pad or something like that. We thought that'd be a fun thing, so we started talking about that last year. We'll probably start doing that. We might do that this year. So that's where we came from, and that's where we are, where we're going. We opened this shop here in Sequoia Hills. This is the first of 9 planned in Knoxville. So we are targeting the business that has 2 manufacturing locations and a retail. That's where we are, where we came from, where we are, and where we're going. Little slide pop up. Passwords. So why do we need passwords? You know, what are they about, and why do we need so many of them? Every little service that you sign into, you're creating a in the technology field recommend that you don't use the same password over and over again, because what happens then is if that's compromised, all of your systems are compromised. So we tell you to have a different password for each system that you log into. Now, most of the IT guys that I know don't even follow that rule. What's something called phishing. And that is where a bad person tricks you into giving them your password and your credentials. That's usually done through an email that looks like it came from your bank or your credit card or whatever that says, hey, we need to get you some updated information. Please click on this link and follow it and do the stuff. If you get something like that Password Vault. There are several applications you can use for Password Vault, and we're going to get to those in just a moment. My live presentation just stopped, so I am restarting it. And it seems like it's working okay. Okay. It seems like it's still working, but it popped up saying you're getting ready to join a Hangout.
No, you're good. Just restart the keyboard.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about best practices for creating a password. So that just helps you with, now you've got super strong passwords on all these different sites, and they're all different. So you've got 200 passwords to keep track of if you're on 200 things. Some more password ideas, like a song phrase, favorite whatever, traveling city code. These are things that you can use so that you can remember them if you don't want to use a password vault like we're going to talk about in a minute. If you're creating a password of your own for these different sites, I use things like, I'll do something where, like I said, a phrase from a Bible verse. I'll use that as an entire phrase. If the system doesn't allow me to use spaces, good morning. Good morning. So we'll, sometimes what I'll do is I'll do a shift character. So if the phrase is the quick brown fox or something, I'll write down that phrase, the quick brown fox, or I won't write that phrase. I'll write my favorite book line or something like that. And then it says over to the right, it'll say up one, right one. And what that means to me is I am shifting all of those letters over to the one, up, right to the one, up one on the keyboard. So it comes out as like this crazy looking password that is because I'm shifting physically on the keyboard over one and up one.
So George, if you wanted to, type the word brownie, instead of doing BR, you would do over one, up one. So you do an H instead of a V. And instead of an R, you would do a 5.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of your own encryption method to where, it's still brownie to you, but you know how to get to brownie. Yeah.
And then what do we do in helping you with your passwords? One, we have a program where we can keep track of your passwords for you. So we use something called SimpleSafe, which is more of a commercial application. And for most of our clients, a lot of our clients, we are keeping the passwords for you for all the different services that you use. And whenever a client calls in and says, hey, I forgot my password on how to get into this, we can tell them the password and share it with them out of SimpleSafe. And SimpleSafe is pretty safe. We also, in SimpleSafe, it has the ability for people to use the password, our nerds to use your password to log into systems on your behalf, but they don't see the password. They can copy and paste and put it into the password system. So it's depending on the management level inside of the software, it lets you do that kind of stuff. Now some of like we were talking about password vaults before, which everybody says instead of keeping a spreadsheet that's unsecure with a whole list of passwords, or keeping them written down on a piece of paper where I have to keep track of them and try the multiple kinds, can I just get an application that would keep track of them? And the answer is yes. You have 1Password is the one that we recommend the most. It is, it costs some money, but we feel like it's worth it based on what it's protecting. So 1Password is available on Mac, PC, iOS, Android, and something that it does that's pretty cool is like when you log into your different devices, it syncs all of your passwords so that they're always available on every device that you have. So if you have it on your iPhone or your iPad, you can see your passwords and then also see them at home on your Mac or your PC. It still has a 1Password that you use to get into the vault to see all the other passwords. But it's, you create a nice secure password for that, and then you've got all of your other passwords inside of that thing. And then if you're using the mobile device, you're carrying your passwords with you all the time, so you always have them on your phone.
Is that per month or per year?
That's a one-time fee. You're just buying the software. And then another one is LastPass, which is their little tagline is the last password that you have to remember. Where'd it go? Oh, we can go back that way.
Back.
It thinks about it for a second.
Yeah, so we gave 4 different options because they're all have their own uses. They all have, you know, different people like different things. And LastPass is a tool that we have a lot of clients who like because it just works right in the web browser. So if you have Google Chrome open or Internet Explorer or Firefox or Safari, it just works right off of there. You don't have to download anything extra. And all of these that we mentioned are cross-platform. So they work on my phone, they work on Leah's phone, they work on your iPhone, they work on your Mac, they work on your PC, they work on anything. Those are that's why part of the reason why we chose the tool that we did.
So LastPass, I haven't used it before, but it looks like it has some really cool features. One being free, you have to use it, and then having a premium version, which costs some money. But it is a subscription base. It looks like it's $12 a year.
$12 a year.
Sharing with your family.
That's actually kind of cool. You can have a shared LastPass vault that you share amongst your whole family. So let's say everybody uses the same iTunes account to download music, or the same Comcast account to watch movies online. And you can have the same set of credentials. You can also put other things on there like credit card information. If you wanted to, you can put Social Security number, passport number, all that kind of stuff. And it's designed with encryption in mind. So if let's say you forgot your master password, your last password, it'd be very difficult for you to get back into your account. And it's designed that way for security purposes.
And then like, 1Password, the syncing between devices is there, and then the web access. Dashlane.
This one is probably my favorite.
And tell us why you like it.
Yeah. I think primarily the free version is great. Basically, you get all the primary features. The difference between the free and the premium is the sharing feature and the syncing feature. You know, to some people, it's not that big of a deal to have different passwords on your phone than on your desktop. So the free version is great. And again, this works on Android, iPhone, iPad, Macs, PCs. And the interface is nice, and it looks clean and it looks easy to use. And some of the premium features you get, like I said, sharing with the family, you sync with all your devices, and they have a real big focus on security as well. And it makes sense, all of these companies.
Yeah. And so the free version, you can install it on a mobile device.
Absolutely.
And you can install it on a desktop device, but the data is not synced.
Exactly. They have a little chart, and that's the primary difference, is the syncing capability and the sharing capability.
And KeePass is an open
This
source
one's an
platform.
open source one. I'm a big proponent for open source software. This is not the prettiest tool that you'll use, and it's designed more for advanced users, developers, and so forth.
Now, if you haven't been to a tech talk, where we're talking about the terminology and technology, the open source is something we throw around a lot. Does anybody know what open source is? Have you heard of that? Open source is when the community is developing it. So a lot of programmers around the world are volunteering their time to help maintain this application. There's a shared collaboration area where there are needs of the software posted, and then these developers from all around the world log in and write little bits of code that go into this code. It's really cool. Like one, it's free, a lot of times because it's open source. It's community, social kind of thing. So a lot of developers like that component of it. And really, you'll see it a lot of times update quicker than commercial applications because people are fixing it all the time and making changes to it all the time. And it's really just as secure as any of the commercial apps that are out there.
You can argue that it's even more secure because if there's any flaws, you see it, and the developers will see it also because everybody can see what's happening inside the code. So someone's going to be ready to fix that almost immediately. On a closed source application, let's say Microsoft Office, right? The source for that is not open. You can't see how Microsoft did this feature or that feature. There could be security flaws, but no one can tell unless besides Microsoft. So that's why open source can sometimes lead to more secure applications.
Advanced topics?
Yeah, these will, I think we're going to have another class on password more. You know, this is kind of an overview. We'll have another one, but we'll talk about two-step verification. This website you should write down. This is a great website. It's called isleaked.com.
Isleaked.com.
Yes. Did we talk about the 4.9 million emails
Yes.
that were hacked with Gmail 5 days ago?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you wanted to check and see if your email was hacked, go here to isleaked.com, type in your email address, and it'll tell you. Yep, it's awesome. They have a running database because what happens is these hackers, they publish the information to the public. Good people, like this company, they collect that information and keep a database so users like yourselves and me, we can check and see if our accounts are in that database. My account was not, fortunately. I checked. Leo's is not either. Check this.
And we talked about that a little bit too, like when you have Facebook Connect or Google authentication to some other application, that not only is your Google account being compromised, but all of the other services where you're using Google to connect to those services.
That's absolutely right.
So it's this exponential.
Yeah. And so when we do talk about the advanced topics, that two-step verification is designed to kind of help you in the situation where, because I use my Google account for almost every service on the internet. And if my Google account were to ever get hacked, that'd use theirs. So two-step verification really helps. And then there should be another word. It looks like it got cut off.
And the worst.
Yeah, well, I can talk about that real quick. So let's say you log into gmail.com or Pinterest.com or Facebook. Instead of letting you straight in, it sends you a text message on your phone with a code. And then you not only have to have your password, you have to have that code. So in order to hack your account, I would have to have your phone and your password. So it adds an extra layer of protection there. Yeah. And this one was just for fun. These are the worst passwords of 2013.
Yeah, don't write these down and use them.
Don't use these.
That's not why they're up
Dr. Gizmo says don't do it.
there. Hey, there's Dr. Gizmo.
Yeah, we get them with the thumbs down.
Oh, yeah. But no, a company called Splash Data, they're big into security. And they compile a list every year on the worst passwords of the previous year. And these, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, password. Don't use these.
Password 1 isn't any better.
Yeah, it's not any better. Password 1 with a 4 instead of an A is not any better either.
Or $2 something.
$2.
You could do that.
Yeah, none of that works because, did we talk about how hackers hack a lot of hack accounts?
The main thing we talked about was how most of it's through social engineering or phishing scams. They actually trick you into giving up the information.
Exactly. That's how. And that's so. The 4.9 million emails that were hacked with Google. It wasn't Google's fault. There's no signs of a security breach. It's mostly phishing and just user related hacks. Another way that these hackers use, and that's why we don't recommend using the basic passwords. They have this thing called dictionary. It's a list of words that they use to test passwords. They just run a program to test every single word possible. And these computers can do millions, if not billions, of calculations per second. So you can imagine you can run through the dictionary pretty quickly. And that's why these passwords are moving.
We were talking about that and talking about sites that tell you like an objective third-party site that tells you the strength of your password. And I couldn't remember the name. Like
PassVault is a good one. It might be passvault.com or passwordvault.com, but they have a great little way to see how strong.
I like going over there just to show off like how strong my password is. This is the password I use. And then whenever it's like laughs at me, that makes me feel bad though.
And we'll go to some of these websites. We'll take you to isleaks.com and we'll take you to the PassVault too. But I think that was it. And then we have social media where you can follow us online. We're all the time posting little helpful hints out there. It's kind of like the nerd alerts in the email. There's always something getting posted to Twitter, Facebook, the Google+. Yeah.
So if you want to follow us there, you'll get those little snippets of information from Neighborhood Nerds.
But all of our clients do usually get the nerd alerts first before anybody else. So, no special about that.
That's right. That's true, because this isn't necessarily a client.
Yeah.
This could be anybody that's following, like on our Facebook page, we have 2,600 followers, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And those aren't all members.
Yeah.
Now, Debbie, my wife, she shares that with everybody. She's like, people in other states even, oh, you need to, she forwards the nerd alerts to them. Like, were you aware of this? So she looked super smart. All right, was there anything else?
Questions and answers time.
Yeah.
That's all. So, anyone have questions? Or sorry I was late, by the way, coming back from the West Knox. Any questions or any suggestions or hints on how you use passwords or manage your passwords?
Should we stop it? Yeah. All right. This has been the Neighborhood Nerds Tech Talk on passwords. Thanks for joining us today. You can always follow us on Twitter and Facebook and find us online at innerd.com. Thanks.
But hopefully now.